Good evening. It is week 20 of the Kindness Adventure, Kathy.
Yay. Hi, how are you this evening, Jeanette?
Let's just say I have been the recipient of much kindness
Awesome.
this past week. Amazing stories of when somebody says, just ask, you've read that, or your friends often say, if you need any help, just ask. And you don't know if that is the truth, that if they truly want to help. And this past week has been, we all know what happened a week ago in our province, in the Lower Mainland, kind of from Merritt down to the coast. We experienced torrential downpour and our roads are not good. Our villages, some cities are cut off, and some grocery stores are not doing so well. And there's such a trickle down effect from kind of funny from a torrential downpour of how it affects communities in weird ways. There's been huge stories out there of champions and people rallying together. And how about you? How this last week it must have been interesting, because you deal with kids and how their mental health regarding what's going on in their own backyard.
Yeah,
So,
it's been pretty tough, but the chapter I worked on today, or this several weeks actually, because we didn't meet last week because there was too much stuff going on with water.
yeah, lots of water.
And just on the side, I had no idea an atmospheric river was a true weather pattern. Did you know that we average, what was it per year? 5 per year? Like we actually get them 5 per year. It's a common thing here in BC, just not all in 24 hours. Anyway,
remember when they were saying about a polar vortex, and we all didn't know what a polar vortex was, and now we got this new terminology, a atmospheric river.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. Anyway, so the whole my chapter was that all about kindness to yourself. And it's funny because I've been doing that with my kids. It's a great question, Jeanette, because I've been doing that with my kids, to not only be kind to one another, but more importantly, be kind to yourself. If you're not understanding something or you're feeling stressed about something, be kind to yourself and just let it go. Find a solution, ask for help. There is no shame, as you say, there is no shame to ask for help. And how we have seen people pull together this past week and still doing it is it's been remarkable. Yes, there is hope for humanity. There truly is.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fun. So my chapter was on You're the Greatest of All Time. And I love how Leon has you tear up the pages like we did in a previous chapter where we handed it to others. And this one is to tear them up to yourself and put them around the house or in your wallet or in your car. And I love this quote. I'm just going to turn to it here. He has a little bonus pick me up section in the chapter. And where is it? I should have marked it. If we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. And he talks about how my peace begins at home and my peace begins with me, and really doing that self journey and being kind, finding peace in your home, on the road, and in the heart of the one and only absolutely amazing you or me. And I think that is something we need to remind ourselves of. We live in such an interesting world. I even found a book, and we did a little last minute Christmas shopping tonight. And I found a book that was How to Find Yourself in the Digital Age, Being Kind. Like there's a book published on it. And it's like, yeah. And you and I have been talking a lot about that, on how our digital world and the immediacy that we expect everything to happen. We're basically living in war times right now. We're rationing gas, we're rationing food, we're being smarter. You know, my husband's going to drive me to work every day. We're going to use one car that gets the good gas mileage. We're being truthful with 30 liters only, which I don't think everyone has been truthful about. We're out of gas where we are right now. There is no gas to get. So it's like, yeah, it's like we have to do things differently. But while we're doing it, be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself and other people. It's just, yeah, it just speaks volumes. So I don't know if I told you, Jeanette, and then you can tell me about your chapter. I'm doing a kindness board and outside my classroom. And the idea is for kids to put statements of kindness about other people and themselves on the board. So the kids can go up to it and look at it and just feel good. Just feel good.
That is so cool. How many of you got up there? Have you kind of?
It's growing. I just started at the end of last week. So I think I have about 25 there, but I'll be taking a picture when it's full.
Oh, that's awesome. If anything, we don't have to ration these days is that kindness. Are those smiles? Are those waves? Are those let somebody in traffic? A can of soup, an extra can of soup when you're going to the grocery store, a box of macaroni or whatever that is that you can, or time currency. We don't have to ration that when it feels good. And I so love when you said about yourself, said if you got to tuck into bed a little earlier, tuck into bed a little earlier.
Yes.
Need an extra little cup of tea and calm down, take it. Like take that, what we have for ourselves. So I love that. I love that. Mine kindness journey was it was a short chapter, but it was create your own kindness adventure, number 27. And it was to find that person to be kind to. Remember how when you were a kid and one teacher taught me such a big lesson in kindness that it changed my entire direction of my life. So Miss Mann is the reason I wanted to spread kindness, to inspire others to be kind and kinder place. So this week when I received kindness, I made sure that person felt the kindness back.
Yeah.
So this past week on Wednesday, some of you know that I volunteer with Night Shift Ministries. And not the month before when I posted on about, hey, it takes a village and this is what we do and our sandwiches that we make. One fellow, Kathy, called Larry Clay, because he gets tagged into it because he's part of our team, or Team the Clay Way. Called him from Benetti Meats and said, I'm at Benetti Meats. Can I buy this? Can I buy this? Can I buy this? Can I buy this? Can I donate this? Can I go? And Larry's like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm not at home though. So I live on the same property, and came with this huge amount of meat for us for donation.
Wow.
And that was just because I shared kindness, like shared our story of kindness and how we treat our street friends. Well, this past Wednesday, we couldn't find bread because we make about 75 to 100 sandwiches and big pots of soup and goodies for our street friends. And we could find $7 to $8 a loaf bread, but knowing that we buy everything that we make that night. And I got to tell you, things work in mysterious ways. I have a friend, Dana Mathewson, who is CD Logistics, and he also owns Cedarbrook Bakery. And I left him a text message. I didn't get back to him. There was a small sense of urgency as we were on our way out the door. And I kid you not, I looked on my Instagram and there was a post. You live in Abbotsford or Chilliwack? We want to help. We want to make sure that here's our phone number and here's the extension. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make that call. I'm going to call. And I called and spoke to this lovely girl, Kimberly. And she called me back in a couple of moments and said, there's 10 loaves of bread waiting for you behind the counter.
Awesome.
And it was just like, I choke up again thinking about it, because they honestly said there was kindness, like help. And then afterwards, making sure that I shouted him out on social media to make him feel, really, really appreciated. It's what we can do. And that other people came along the way and donated things for us as well. So our street friends had a beautiful meal on Wednesday night. And that's my kindness adventure this past week, was making sure the people felt the kindness back. You gotta, when you give, you leave a space to receive, and it's like, okay, you were kind. I'm going to make sure that I shovel a bunch of kindness back, into that space with my words and appreciation, when somebody gives you something physically. So it was so beautiful, and it was so lovely. The sandwich tasted and looked that much better.
Much better, yeah. You know what? I'm going to say it. Thank you, Leon. Thank you. You know, none of this stuff is new. It's just a great reminder to put it up in the forefront of our minds and our hearts. And Leon.
And it's fun. Like, I'm telling you, if you're looking for a great Christmas gift for somebody who you don't know what to get them for Christmas, and if they've got kids or a family, this would be a fantastic book.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Can you imagine if everybody started the year off, they got this for Christmas, and 28, that's half the year. 28 and a half weeks, he often says, the book. Because you know what, hopefully by the half week, you've got the journey all figured out.
Getting me thinking.
You thought you were done Christmas shopping.
I don't know. The next challenge is getting the gifts to people, because it's not so easy this year.
No.
Well, thank you so much for watching tonight, everyone, for our Sunday kindness evening. And we'll be back on with the next chapter next week.
Absolutely.
You guys all have a wonderful evening, and be kind to yourselves.
Go be kind.